Hi everybody. In today's video, I want to make a quick demo of the Facet system inside of on my Etch. I just want to showcase you how easy it is to set up the uh, basic filtering with all my Etch facets inside Etch. How easy it is to change some stylings, etc. And to showcase you how nicely it's all integrated with Edge ecosystem. So let's dive in. We're inside of Edge. We have a basic section container. Let's add some grid, like 1.3. I would say that's a safe bet for the facets to have like a left column and nice slot for our post data. So let's have a gap of 2 RAM, for example, and we're gonna have a div here, not a div component, but a div element. Let's have another div for this. Right, perfect. And over here, let's start with how to identify a specific loop as a target for our facet functionality. So for this, we have a component called facet target. And as you can see, we have here a div, but there's no need that. We can just use, of course, this as our main wrapper. Over here, we can set up a like change the tag and change the class of this wrapper so it can work as any other just regular div. It's just regular div with some extra functionality on top of that, right? So immediately after adding this facet target, you can see that we have 2 info boxes that would render, of course, only inside of Edge. They're just whenever there's a component that has some prop that needs to be set for the component to works, you're gonna see a warning message to guide you to correctly use a given component. So for facet target, we need to set a target ID. This target is gonna be used by different facet that's gonna connect to this facet target. So let's call it a hello, because it doesn't matter. It just needs to be unique per a group. And the next step that we need to do is to create a loop inside of it. So we're gonna have a loop. All right, here we have some posts. Perfect. So let's do some basic. Let's create some basic class. Let's call it demo loop card, for example. Div. All right. Inside here, let's have a H3 item title. It's kind of big, so let's change it to H5 or 4. Why not? Let's have a UL here with loop for item categories as category loop. And over here, of course, li cat name. Right, we have categories. Let's span class category with categories to have it also over here. And let's create another one for tags, for example. Yeah. So, okay, let's leave it as categories with tags here. Here's we're gonna have item tags as tag and tag name. Perfect. We see that the Some don't have tag. We could use like condition to hide the tag if there's no tag, but let's not focus. Let's not focus on things that aren't that important for this demo. Yeah, we want to showcase something else. So we have our basic demo loop card and our facet target. So let's change it. We don't want it to be block, and we can either use a default stylings that is exposed to the user, and you can do whatever you want with this. You can see that those default classes that are attached to the class props, those can always be reset to the default settings for the user. If you would go to the components like on my Etch settings and you choose facet target, you can go to settings and you can reset family styles. Family means that some components are just composed of one component, but other components can be composed of many. Yeah, there's like accordion is not just an accordion; it's like accordion item, etc. And you can reset all of those styles. But for now, let's just create our demo facet target wrapper. Yeah, and over here we can have grid free, for example, and we can see it works just like any other diff, basically, yeah, inside of Etch. So it's very easy to just use CSS as you would do it with anything else. You know, that's extremely intuitive, and if you are comfortable with Etch and you are comfortable with either using the mini GUI for CSS or just writing CSS or asking ChatGPT to do it for you, all of those paths are easy accessible with Etch and with all my Etch components as well. So let's just add something to this card so it's not this abysmal. Column gap. We had even lower hierarchy of information here. Padding 1 rem and border 1 pixel solid var neutral light. All right, so let's see how it works on the front end. All right, we have some cards, our loop's working. There's a lot of cards displayed at the default. We can see our loop setting has it's displaying 50. Let's change it to let's do limit 9. We have 3 columns grid. 9 is a nice default to have. All right, so currently we achieved a regularly displayed loop inside of Etch. So we can start utilizing a magic of On My Etch facet system. So probably it's going to be easiest to start inside of our left column. And let's say we want to have a checkbox list for our categories to loop through them, yeah, to filter through available categories. So for that, we can, of course, we can have a span, let's call it categories. And over here, we want to add some facet. So all of the available facet, you can quickly check what's here. We have checkbox list, facet target, pagination, radial list facet, search select facet, and select facet. So probably we are looking for checkbox list facet. So with our command I, type in checkbox list facet, and it appears. And it's similarly how it was with the facet target. Over here, we also have some information that are required for the component to work. So the first one is connect this target to facet target. We set it up as hello, so we want to share the same ID. And the second part is add facet options into the options slot. So we can see that there's an option slot, and checkbox list facet option is another checkbox list facet component piece, yeah? part of this component family. This one contains of two. So we want to here have a checkbox list option. Perfect. And this also has some required prop to be filled for it to work. It's a value. So we need to have a value for it to work correctly. But of course, that's not a value of any category. So we can see that we have some Magnum, uncategorized, sit, news, Fugiat. There's a lot of categories. And of course, we don't want to like hard code them by hand. Like what if user would add a different category sometimes in the future or something will change. It must be dynamic. How to solve the issue of it's not being dynamic? Well, we are inside of Etch, so it's very easy. We are just using native Etch architecture for that by looping the checkbox list facet options. What we want to loop? We want to loop categories. So all we need to do is to have a loop facet that loops through category. What was a category? I created this loop previously. So category is just a regular taxonomy type query. That's a taxonomy category. And just like any other loop inside of Etch, with that, we created a category loop. We just want to add a correct value and a label to it. So the value would be a item slag, and the label will be item name. And we have our categories. Yeah. And right now we can, the last remaining piece of a puzzle is that inside of our checkbox list facet over here, maybe I will, I wonder if I was hiding everything I was doing. Yes, yes, oof, I didn't. Okay, I just realized that I have my preview there, so maybe just in case, let's just move it here. Perfect. And right now on the checkbox list facet, we have our query parameter. So we are looping through categories. Categories is a special type of taxonomy in WordPress that has special arguments exposed to it. So normally, if you would be doing, for example, a custom taxonomy, you would need to opt in then for the is taxonomy query. You would need to change this boolean to true, and then we are in this environment. When there's going to be conditions for Etch properties, I of course going to update it, so we always see the one thing that we want to see, basically. But for now, we need to manage it like this. So we have a is taxonomy query, and here we would say category, and basically that's it, because we can also use it. But for the categories, we can also use not the taxonomy query, but just a regular WP query hooks. For now, those are the available one, and over here there's also a category name. So because of that, but let's why not? Let's use the is taxonomy query, and there's are different options for how the facets should behave. So options behavior, we have 3 options. We have always show, all disable unavailable, and high unavailable. So if the filtering would sum up to some category not being available, how it should behave. For now, let's add disable unavailable, And show counts is a toggle that on the runtime, so on the front end, would count up the available post of a given category and display it after the category name over here. Let's demo this part as well. All right, so it looks like that all it took to have a category checkbox list. Let's see how it works on the front end. As we can see, it immediately populated with the available amounts for a given category. I'm not sure how many posts I have for it, but it's you can count if you want. But right now we see here are the different categories for each. If we're gonna choose news, the news are available, guides, sit, etc., etc. It's of course annoying because there's a 66 of those, and we still see only 9. We would rather to have access to all of them somehow. And to accomplish that, of course, we can use, for example, a pagination. So for pagination to work, we want to put it under the, or just for demo, let's put it above the facet. So we actually want to wrap this facet again with a different div. And over here, let's have a pagination facet. That's a different facet. Let's throw it above it. We over here we have a target ID hello, and that's basically it, all that we really need to set up for pagination. Because of course we are not choosing a specific WP query argument to utilize for filtering for pagination, because it's always going to be using post per page basically. Yeah. So for that, we can just save and see on the front end we have our pagination populated. If we're gonna choose right now guides, it's shrink, and we still have access to all available guides. So like guides, right? Perfect. That's the second step. Yeah. So for example, you can see that right now clicking on it doesn't showcase a behavior of the like selected state. And it's because there are still few nuances inside of Etch that Etch team I know is currently like trying to fix. But basically, when we are constructing components like that, sometimes the JavaScript for those components doesn't retrigger inside of Etch. So basically, if any component like you see that doesn't work inside of Etch, try to just refresh the builder, and then it should work. And it's working in Etch. Of course, it doesn't actually filter in Etch because I think that would be like anti-pattern for usability. In Etch, we just wanted to have a like structures and preview of styling, so we can easily style things. We don't really need to like filter inside of Etch. Yeah. But right now, because of that, we can easily try to change how it's styled. We have specific options for the checkbox box. So first of all, we can, for example, change a mode from an actual checkbox to just is being a button. And now, right now, it's just gonna work as a button. Then you can change it to be like it could then work as a let's change it to raw. Flex wrap. Yeah, and we have a flex grow one that goes on the child. I don't remember. Yeah, and we have like a kind of more interesting way to display the same functionality. Yeah, it still works as a checkbox. It still behaves as it should, but it has a different like styling vibe to it. Yeah, and the same thing we showcase with the facet target. We have some default stylings, for it that I just designed, but you can easily just add your own class for it and go from them. What I noticed I like doing is I'm just pasting it, what I designed as a default one, adding my own one, my own checkbox indicator, and starting from here, because right now I'm not messing with default stylings. They are not being used anymore because, well, I overwritten the default one right now, and right over here I can mess around, remove everything, and just see what I can do with all of that. Of course, we are right now in the button mode, so the checkbox wouldn't be actually visible. Yeah, but if I would remove it, yeah, we don't see anything because everything's regarding styling actual indicator was over here. And it goes and goes and goes. Yeah, we can. I will for sure try to create some tutorial where we're gonna find some cool e-commerce website and we're gonna try to mimic it one-to-one or something like that to see how far we can push even V1 of On My Edge facet system. There's of course plenty of things I already know I want to like update in the future. Like for example, right now you can see that over here we have our number that gets added into the category name, and it's right now because I just wanted to have something for it to work, and right now it just adds itself as a suffix after the label, and I think it would be beneficial for it to have its own span with a class, so you can control this part separately. Yeah, maybe I would remove the um, asterisk, this word by default, so you can, for example, like use a before after with content to populate those things. Because why not? Yeah, content. And just imagine that it would be over here. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I'm already know, and I'm already like excited about what other things can be done with On My Edge facet system. But I think it's plenty of cool features for the V1 already. So I just want to give it to you guys as soon as possible. We can add a search facet. Search facet, of course, also doesn't have a different query parameters. It's just hooked into a default search parameter of WordPress WP queries. So we just need to add hello here, and it's done. Yeah, and it works. We can see here. We will take this, and some parts of something happened. Yeah, because like every of this dummy content also have a inner content that the default WordPress query for titles for WordPress search query also check in. So, but one more thing is we also have a fallback system. Yeah, so if we're gonna have oh my edge is awesome, you could also see that it didn't trigger on like every key press or something. It waited for me to finish writing, and then it retriggered fetching. So there's no values here. So how to handle that inside of Etch? On the facet target, there's a slot fallback. We have a slot for loop where we need to store a loop, and in the slot of fallback, we can do whatever we want. Yeah. On the facet target, we can select preview fallback, and right now we are in the fallback mode, and we can just add any styling here, any Etch content to go here. Hello fallback, and let's add a random class background color red. to see if styles also gets attached. And yes, they are. So you have an like amazing control from inside of Etch from the day one. So I don't know. I'm very I'm very excited for it all, and I really hope you every one of you will really like using Etch using on my Etch. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting end of the week. Because I'm still waiting for Edge team to release this week's release, which I'm really like holding my fingers for. It should contains a few of the bugs that I showcased to them while developing on my Edge. That would be extremely helpful for me to have before releasing, like not for me, for you, when you're gonna start using all of the components. So I'm waiting for this week's Edge release, and basically then I will be releasing on my Edge as well. Yeah, I hope this like quick demo of Facet system was fun for you guys, and I hope that you're gonna want to see more. I promise to create another video showcasing a basic component, like basic UI components that are already available in Etch. So if you would see, I'm not sure why it didn't load right now. Let's refresh. Yeah, if there's gonna be a few patterns already designed. We have some carousels that you can just copy here, go back, throw in, and they just work. Yeah, and you can just start having fun with them, go to front end. But that's for another video. Yeah, like I don't want to spam you with all possible information that are possible to do with Etch. So I will leave the walkthrough through all of the UI components for the next video, or maybe I will even like split them to smaller videos and just create one like quick demo like here, because like even navigation menu can be like extremely boring and simple, but can be fun and very interactive, with different options to include different modes to have. So plenty more to come, and yeah, let's be in touch. See ya, guys.